was Jacob's.
I bet it still is.
That's my grandparents' house.
It is. Yeah.
This, what were their names?
Yeah.
What were their names when we lived here?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's vacant now because,
Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape.
and you can see the wind blowing the curtains,
Mm.
so the windows are out.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But your family had another house next to it, wasn't there a...
Oh, that's down further.
No, not where your grandma and grandpa lived, but wasn't there a house here that was owned by the family?
Yeah, but
It's torn down.
yeah. Well, they folded it into that house that's back there.
Oh, okay.
And who were the people that owned that? Or bought it? This was Albertsons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think any of the Albertsons live here anymore. Although there is something kind of back there, like a vehicle. And this is my grandparents' house. Built by Edward Sorensen. Yep.
Do you want to walk up to it? It's your property. You can go to it anytime you want to. I think that's Marion's husband because you guys allow them to keep their equipment and...
Yeah.
Let's go up to the house, Mom. Your hand will try to maneuver over there.
It looks like somebody's coming back
Nobody's living there.
and moved into the foot.
If there's somebody living there, they have questions to answer. It's your house, and you guys have not rented it for a while.
There are people here because that's up there in modern.
Yeah, but they're here because they borrowed the land from you.
Oh, there it is.
Hi.
How are you, Val?
Good.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay. How about you?
Pretty good. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Mike George, Marion's husband.
I've not met you, but I'm
okay.
Val's daughter.
Right.
This is my daughter.
Right.
And
We've
I'm
met.
Edgar Sorensen's
Right.
granddaughter. First grandchild.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
And who did you say you were?
Marion used to be Mangum.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I'm her husband now.
So she's used to be Mangum. She's not a Mangum. Oh no, she married the guy from
Farron, that's me.
See, it comes back.
Okay, well you tell her I'm Val Joe,
Right.
and you tell her you saw me,
I will.
and I would love to see her,
Okay.
and remember all
Right.
memories and
Right.
well, how nice we got to see you.
Well,
And
I'm glad you stopped by. We've cleaned up a little bit. Still got more to go, but
Appreciate it.
yeah, I was just this and my daughter.
well, we appreciate you letting us put the horses here.
Yeah.
That's been really good for us. Slowly, we'll hopefully get it shaped up a little bit.
That's nice of you. We appreciate that.
Very much.
We're just gonna kind of look around. She's
Oh.
kind of reminiscing a little. So.
Well, good. That's good to do. That's fun.
Remember when I lived here? It was my life.
I was gonna say that's
Not
been
here,
a
but
bit.
in that house right down, one block down is
One block.
Yeah.
the house where, and then a block down from that is where my grandfather was born and raised. So theoretically, we own this whole
This whole
block
strip here. Huh?
and then when Grandpa got so he couldn't maintain it anymore, is when they started selling it
Some
off.
pieces off.
Yeah.
Very good. I'll let you go back.
Thank
Nice,
you.
very nice.
It was nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Let's go ahead and walk up for a second. We can go anywhere you want. Where do you want to walk around to?
I don't want to.
There's nobody. This is your house. This is your. You can. It's probably locked. You didn't bring a key, and you guys try to make sure people don't abuse it. So.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
But remember, there's a living room right here,
Yeah,
right?
there
When you go in.
There's a living room, and right through it is a kitchen.
Yeah.
And then off to this one side is a bedroom, a master bed. Off to the kitchen is a master bedroom, loosely.
Yeah.
And then back beyond that is where visitors.
And isn't there a little room right here?
There's a little room right here.
So when you lived here, what room did you live in? Can you remember?
It might have been this one because I don't really have too much of a memory. That was a lilac bush.
Oh yeah? And I've climbed that tree.
So have I.
Yeah, that was a good climbing tree when I was younger.
Yeah, very good climbing tree.
Yeah. Because when I was really, really little, Jerry and Margaret lived here for a while with their family. And so I'd come and stay with them at this place.
Yeah.
So, do you want to take a walk around the back a little? I wish I'd thought of grabbing the key so we could have gone inside. But I wasn't thinking. Sorry. We'll go around this side. You would see that? Oh, I think he was letting me have a little time with you. Maybe we'll swing around the other side so we don't disturb his tending the horses. There used to be a couple outbuildings out this way, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Grandpa had a shop, loosely
Yeah.
a shop that was made out of logs. And Grandpa could build really well.
And he had sheep, didn't he?
Yeah, sheep, but only enough so that he could raise them and then butcher them.
Yeah.
And the Henningsons lived back there.
Oh, really?
You know, it looks so small now.
Isn't that funny when you come back as an adult?
I used to walk down and climb up on that fence. And they had, what was his name? Oh, gosh. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Never gonna see him anyway.
Probably not.
But we played together all the time. Yeah.
And now you've talked about your grandma having fruit trees out here. Where were the fruit trees?
They were up there.
They were along the back, by the fence.
Yeah, on this side of the fence. And mostly apples.
Apples.
Mostly. Because they're the most hardy.
Yeah.
Of the
Makes sense.
of the fruits.
Yeah.
Apples are the most hardy. We also had down here. Now I would bet you, based on my memory, that this was a peach tree.
Oh yeah, maybe. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might also be an apple tree.
Yeah.
But there was a peach tree right here. And plum trees on either side of it.
Really?
Yeah. And boy, I used to have to pick those things and climb up in those.
So when you lived in this house, was this house built with a bathroom or without the bathroom?
When I first lived here, it was built without the bathroom. We had an outdoor toilet.
And where was that in relation? Can you remember? I know so much has changed, so it's hard to. But how far would you have to go to the bathroom?
This might be part of the bathroom, the stick and stuff right there. Because you would come outside and
You okay?
yeah, and there would be the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Called an outhouse.
Okay. And then how old would you say you were when they finally built the indoor?
Okay, when I was about 4 or 5, Grandpa Sorensen had a terrible automobile accident. He was a good driver and worked for the state road for the entire time that he was he retired from the state road. So his whole life he really worked for the state road, and he was a good driver, and that was unusual at that time because not most people drove. So he learned to drive those big equipment that was building the roads, and he built the road, the highway road, from all the way up to Price. So that brought Price in, so people had more access to things. And then he was hired by the state to build the road up across the canyon. And he moved up to the Price area and would come home only on weekends.
Oh, wow.
And, they had like a bunkhouse for the builders. But he was really good with equipment, heavy equipment. And so they paid him extra to stay up there and work through those things. Either that or he just stayed up there to party and told Grandma to, I don't know, and I'm not speculating.
Okay. Let's take a drive down to the corner where the other house used to be. You want to do that? You guys tore it down a couple years ago, so
Yeah,
the house isn't there anymore.
yeah, it was out in the field.
Yeah. There were actually a couple, because there was a barn too.
Yeah, there was. That was Grandpa's work shed also, kind of.
Yeah.
He was really quite talented in that way. I mean, today he wouldn't know a computer from a hole in the ground. So.
Yeah.
Well,
This isn't his season. That was his season.
Yeah.
You know, we all have a season.
that was my house.
That was your house. Do lots of memories come back?
It sure does. It sure does. I just can't even. I'm not really sure I can remember what he did, but she was very. She wasn't outgoing and friendly with people. She kept to herself extremely, like she was almost. I don't know. She was very within herself.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Was she kind of a recluse?
Yes.
Staying in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
And her name was Marion Albertson.
And then your girlfriend lived here?
This is Ruth Ann. This looks like it's well maintained.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't remember it looking this good when I'd come in.
No, this is the Maxfields.
Maxfields.
Yeah, lived there. And it's still apparently built. And this was a new house that was built about the time I moved.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really have a memory of who lived there.
Well, your cousin Bonnie lived there for a little while.
And that's probably true.
But then there was a house here.
Yeah.
That was the old house that like Sid,
Yeah, this is Uncle Sid's house.
Yeah.
But which was really my great grandmother's house.
Yeah, yeah.
and she had died, and he was a bachelor, and he moved into her house and lived there and worked in the mines up Price Canyon. So he'd come home on weekends and take care of the, and then Sunday afternoon he'd head back up
there
to Price Canyon, and he worked on building the stuff across the mountain. And there's mines galore up Price Canyon. So, yep, that was Grandma Sorensen's house.
You guys had to tear it down. It got pretty dilapidated.
Yeah, and
kids were going inside, and you guys were just afraid that someone would get hurt. And
yeah, we're lucky they didn't.
yeah, we played in it a lot when I was a kid, so, and it was a pretty scary one. And then I think there was an outbuilding out this way.
There was, and most of the houses that were old at the time that I was a kid had outhouses because they didn't have indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
So indoor plumbing didn't come until I was maybe 6, maybe even younger. But I'm thinking that I could remember 6. So that's when you start school, or did then. You started school.
And this was all their property too, right? Didn't the property come to about here?
Yeah. I went to church there until I was old enough to learn all those things you recite when maybe you don't recite them anymore.
The Articles of Faith?
Yes, the Articles of Faith. But that was where we went. And then when people started moving in here because they were building the roads, out Salina Canyons roads and up North roads, people started moving in. They built a new church.
Yeah.
There. And this became a roller rink.
Really?
Yes.
Was a roller rink on the inside?
On the inside there was a roller rink. And they brought in roller skates, and I can't remember how much we paid to use them, but you would go in and you'd rent, I'm thinking like 10 cents or maybe 50 cents we would pay to rent a pair of roller skates. I don't think it's 50 cents. I'd been way too expensive, so maybe a dime. And we'd roller skate until our legs wore off. And we'd leave.
Yeah.
And they didn't sell food or anything like that. You just rented the roller skates.
So Grandma, Pauline, talked about watching movies inside there. Did they
Yes.
show movies when you were a kid too?
Yes. For a very short time. I used to be able to remember some of the movies I saw there. It was up here, and Aunt Elba's, the movie theater was in this part of and the church was in this part.
Okay.
And Aunt Elba's father, what was his name? Olson. Anyway, he ran the projector.
Oh, really?
And the projector was back here,
Oh, wow.
way in the back, up the stairs, and he projected it down onto the, and a couple of times when he wasn't there and we got into the building somehow, we sneaked up there to see what was in there. It was boring, but it was exciting that we,
The adventure to do it.
yeah. This is new, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
But I do remember the church.
Yeah. And that library was built in the 80s.
Yeah, but I have gotten books there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So when I was younger and I'd come, a bookmobile would come to town like once a week. And that's how you got your books.
Yep.
Before they built the library. And then after the library, that's when you could go anytime you wanted to. But I remember us waiting for the bookmobile.
That whole thing is falling over. That's what those men are talking about.
You think so?
Yeah,
How they're
'cause
going
they
to
were,
fix that?
pointing at it. Or maybe just talking about how to pull the rest of it out.
Right.
Shauna and Hugh lived in that house that's back there.
Really?
Yeah. And Hugh worked in the coal mines. Most everybody here worked in the coal mines.
Yeah, that was a pretty big
Yeah.
industry.
Yes. And you got paid real money.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that because when you farm, you don't get paid until you sell your crop.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to plan really well, or you don't have any money.
Yeah. That's the park.
That's the
baseball
park.
fields.
The baseball field. Yep. I don't know what that concrete thing is that's there. That's,
Must be some sort of a memorial, maybe.
yeah, maybe. Because it wasn't there when I was there, so it's
Fairly
when I
new.
lived here, so it's
Yeah.
something maybe to.
Might be a rock wall.
Yeah, it might be a short one for little kids to climb up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be.
Might be that.
I don't know who lived there. It looks like
Crooked Necks was up this way, wasn't
Crooked
it?
Necks was all the way up here, where you can't go any further. You cross the line,
Yeah.
cross the water,
Did you go
the canal.
the canal? Yeah, you could.
Cross the canal.
We would go into the back and swim in the canal at Crooked
Yeah.
Necks. Or swing there.
Yeah, the canal runs all back.
Runs back there and swings around. Up in there.
And this is the house right here
Uh-huh.
that Clay Christensen grew up in.
Oh,
Do
really?
you know who he is?
He's the piano organ player for
Yes, but
the church.
the church. Almost any time they have any kind of a church activity, you'll see him
Yeah,
there.
like at general conference and stuff. Yeah.
Now
he
it
plays.
might be, I don't know. He and I are exactly the same age. He is a couple days younger than me.
Mhm. So I get a little turned around. We're on this side, right? Our family.
Yeah, I think that we're on this side. And
Might be two in, I think. Not the first set of driving. But the next one I think I turned down. I believe.
yeah,
Or was it that one? No, I think it's this
I
one.
think it's this one.
May take me a minute to figure out where we're at.
Jensen. Everybody here is going to end in S-O-N.
Yeah.
Williams. Marcy Mitchell.
Roderick. Morton.
Johnson.
I thought it was right in this
I
general
did
area.
too. Roderick.
Unless it's over here.
Carla Anderson.
The Sorensen right there.
Where? It is Sid.
Sydney, that's my uncle.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
and Margaret.
is Margaret, and this is
And then we're at the Mangums. Yeah, so we're in the right spot right here. This is all family.
Mangum.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
Edgar and Myrtle.
Yep.
And you know, the reason they're so important to me is because children depend on their parents for every single thing. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Food, clean clothes, answer to a problem, they depend on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened with me and Edgar and Myrtle.
Mm.
Edgar and Myrtle.
You want to go over there?
Look, there's Pauline.
You see, he
Yeah,
was,
we'll hit that one there.
he was
Had been in the Army,
had been
World
in the
War
Army
One.
in World War One.
Can you actually, let me grab I'm going to grab my phone, Mom.
Okay. Yes, you can actually look at them, touch them, and it was somewhere along in here that the guy driving the Jeep
Uh-huh.
turned the corner and the thing fell off and broke my ankle
Okay.
down there. Now, different people say different things. That wouldn't look like, but I was there, and I can tell you that is what happened.
Okay. I'm not going to debate it with you. No worries there.
Well, there's nothing they can do about it or will do about it, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
And there's Pauline. That's my mom.
Do you want to walk over that way?
Yeah. But these are the two people that I love Grandma.
Uh-huh.
She was very interesting because she lived in Salt Lake and she would come home on a weekend, not every weekend, but when she had the time and the money. Oh, mostly the money, or a ride with somebody that was coming.
Yeah.
And she always had interesting stories and things to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that put the bandage on my knee when I fell down at school, or helped me learn how to write and read and do math, that was these people.
Mm-hmm.
I did not leave there until I was a junior in high school. Up to that point, they took care of everything I needed. So when I think of who are my parents are Edgar and Myrtle Sorensen.
Yeah.
And I'm not being
Oh,
down on Pauline.
No.
Life was different then, and she went to Salt Lake and found a good job and made good money, and she was smart.
Mm-hmm.
She was very intelligent. And when she got a job, a good job that paid her good money, from that point on, and as Grandpa got older, Grandma Pauline became the head of the family. Even though Uncle Dwayne was still alive, he was very old. And they lived way up in Idaho, in the mining camps in Idaho. So Grandma Sorensen just took care of Pauline, Grandma Sorensen. See, this is John Sorensen. This is Grandpa's father.
Okay. So he died shortly after his son was born, because it looks like Edgar was about 2 when he passed away.
Yep. Thank you for bringing me up here.
You're welcome.
I have intended for many, many, many years to come up here and try to get over here to see this without breaking my ankle.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to help and take care of you, so.
Thank you.